How you doing, guys? Big Mate Dance School here today. I should now be live on YouTube if all has gone to plan. I'm just trying to find the video on my iPad, but it's not showing up in my video, so I'm guessing I can't see it yet. So I'm going to assume that I'm live. Here we go. It's showing up now. So it's showing up on my computer, but not my iPad. That's very distracting watching myself in that screen. Tell you what, I'm going to go full screen on here and trust that I'm live. First though, let me go to Tools. I want to check my microphone settings. Settings, audio, microphone. Right, so I've got the Blue Snowball mic selected rather than the Logitech mic on the webcam. Basically because the mic on the webcam is kind of echoey, basically. So that's why I've got the Blue Snow. What's that? A bit of fluff. Way! It's all very exciting on this first live stream. So that's why I've got the Blue Snowball one selected rather than the Logitech. I'll put my iPad away now because otherwise that's going to get quite distracting, and I'm going to silence my phone as well. Let's get all professional about it. You might still hear that vibrate, but you know, I'm sure you can get over that, guys. So, purpose of this live stream is to basically share with you what I've bought myself with the winnings I got from Ta24U. Richard's 300 plus subscriber giveaway. Just moving a couple of things around. Now, if you don't already subscribe to Ta24U, then make sure you check out his channel. It's Ta24U, and he does a lot of wargaming stuff. He does unboxings and stuff like that. He gets I don't know if he's subscribed to them still, but he gets like dice head boxes. He unboxes them. He's recently had a few cool unboxings with some really cool stuff in there, so make sure you go check out his channel. And he's on almost 400 subscribers now, I think, but he didn't realise or he didn't do the giveaway for whatever reason until he got to way over 300 subscribers, and then he did his 300 subscriber giveaway. And what you had to do for that, you could comment in the comment section below the video telling you about the giveaway, excuse me. Or you could also, for an extra entry, get a pie, or he was quite generous with it. He said it doesn't really have to be a pie, it can be like a cake or something like that. So I got a cheesecake basically, and I fell into it. You have to smash it in your face. You get an extra 2 entries. It's amazing what people will do for a prize, isn't it, really? You know, people are desperate to win stuff, especially people like me. So first prize was initially going to be $50 or $50 gift card to a store of your choice, but that changed. He got a few entries and stuff, and he was like extremely generous with it. The prize ended up being $75, which is roughly around £63 for people in the UK. So I've spent some money. I've spent that money on some stuff from Wargames, a store in Southport. Make sure you check out the Wargames channel as well. It's just WARGAMES. Make sure you check out their channel, and I will show you what I bought with that money, or what I've put that money towards, really. So here we go. I got the Triumvirate of the Imperium. Now, of the 3 Triumvirates, this is my favourite probably because I just think the models are really cool. Like the Belisarius core model is absolutely awesome. There's so much detail on there, so many cool little things. Each thing on there has a function as well, which I find really fascinating. It adds a lot of a narrative to the miniature, in my opinion. Like the fact that he's got these mechanical limbs helping him move, but he's got this cane to help him walk as well. It's like robotic but human in a way. And of course the Celestine model, if you don't know, I've not featured them on the channel because I've not got any built or painted apart from one that I got painted by Bazza. Bazza is now Underdog Painting on YouTube. I got him to paint one for me. I've just seen he's in the chat actually. So one thing I've got one thing painted for it, so Celestine is a new Celestine model, and I'm going to be getting that painted up and stuff eventually. But I think it's a really really cool update of the miniature basically. And of course the Inquisitor Greyfax miniature is I love that miniature. It's a lot more subtle than some of the other, like the other miniatures are really big and impactful, but this one's like a quiet authority about it in the same way that the Vizark in the Triumvirate of Iniad is. And it's so that's basically I'll talk about the other Triumvirates. Like the Triumvirate of the Primarch, it's alright, but it's at the end of the day the Ultramarines I don't play, although obviously you can play any of the models with an Armies of the Imperium faction. But yeah, I don't play the Ultramarines, so Guilliman's never been one to appeal to me in particular. But it's Guilliman's never been. I've got a few viewers now as well. I've got Wargamer Nick in the chat. How you doing, mate? How you doing, Bazza, as well? I didn't actually say hello to you. I just said you're in the chat. I'll give you a wave. There we go. So I what was I saying? Yeah, the Triumvirate of the Imperium is the one I like. The Triumvirate of the Primarch is not so much to my taste. Voldus is a bit lackluster. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's a great sculpt and everything, but he just looks like a Grey Knight, like most of the Grey Knights look. He's got a bit more ostentatious armour, but you know, there's nothing really that would make him stand out on the battlefield. Like, these are kind of like, in the Triumvirate of the Imperium, they're kind of like centrepiece models. And in the Triumvirate of the Primarch, Guilliman's clearly a centrepiece model. And Cypher is just like really cool miniature. It's an awesome miniature. But I thought, I like all three models in this. I like one model in particular in the Triumvirate of the Primarch, and probably one model in the Triumvirate of Iniad. I've got an Eldar army as well, from my youth, basically. And I thought the Triumvirate of Iniad, it just looks too Slaneshi. The Incarn looks too Slaneshi for me. And also the Ivrain, the one with the gyring, she's kind of she looks like an undead miniature from Age of Sigmar. I don't love the aesthetic. It's alright, like the Vizark looks really cool and authoritative, but the other two miniatures I'm not a massive fan of. So let's get on with showing you what else I got, because I didn't just get that, I didn't stop there. I had a lot of money to spend after all. Let's move that out of the way now. One last look for you, amazing. Just a note as well, when I eventually get around to building and painting this, I don't think I'm going to paint him with red robes. I think I'm going to paint him, there's the Metallica colour scheme, which there's Metallica and there's another one, there's Lucius. I think they both use like orange and white, and I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me. But the one that uses, if there's one that uses orange and white, I think I'll paint his robes in that sort of colour maybe, and say it's not actually, whatever. Anyway, so that's how I'll paint him. There we go. So let's get rid of that now for you. Whoa, I'm not going to chuck it behind me really. Calm down, guys. Calm down. I'm going to place it down gently, make sure nothing breaks inside of it. So the other thing I bought was this. Well, hey. So it was the Talons of the Emperor. Now, I've already got some Custodes and Sisters of Silence in. I just thought I put my head behind the box there, so you might not be able to pick up my voice as well. So I'll lean round the edge for you. So I've already bought some Custodes and Sisters of Silence in the Burning of Prospero set. The thing I was initially going to get was the Kill Team box from Wargames, but by the time I had the money to spend on it, it sold out basically, like most places. I think I will maybe still get that, obviously depending on what we're seeing next month's White Dwarf. I think will influence my decision on whether I'll get that or not, because obviously we've got coming out in the future this Armageddon, Shadow War or whatever it's called. Which looks like it's going to be the new kill team for the newer version of 40k, potentially, because it's got like movement values and stuff in there. And So I might hold off on getting Kill Team. I've seen it in Stockport GW, so I'm very tempted to get it still, because you get a lot of miniatures in there. I need some more Marines for my Death Watch anyway, and I want the grav guns to use with my Death Watch, because I've not got any grav guns on my Death Watch and I want some. So I was thinking about still getting the Kill Team box, but not yet. This Talons of the Emperor set is really interesting. You get a Venerable Land Raider, so that means when your opponent gets a penetrating hit, you can force them to re-roll that. It's also got, I think, the Aegeus rule, which gives you a 5+ invuln save, so it's a 5+ invuln save on a vehicle. And the Rhino you get in there, I'm pointing over here, just off camera, that's where the box is now, so I'll stop pointing. The Rhino you get in there is the Sisters of Silence Rhino, and that has the Psychic Abomination rule, and also, I'll tell you what, I'll open the codex for you, I've got it down here. I did take it out with the intention of just referencing it. So yeah, it's got the Psychic Abomination rule, and the Bane of Psychers rule. Now, the Bane of Psychers rule is models with the Bane of Psychers rule gain the Precision Shot and Precision Strike special rule when targeting an enemy unit containing at least one Psyker, and can re-roll fail to hit rolls when targeting these units. Now, that's not that good for the Rhino, because obviously the only weapon it's going to have is the Storm Bolter. I think you can give it a Hunter Killer Missile as well. I'll just double check that, but I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, you can give it a Hunter Killer Missile as well. So if you've got like an Eldar Flyer or something in the skies that you want to take down, a Flying Hive Tyrant or something like that, then the Hunter Killer Missile you can send after that and re-roll misses. But also the Psychic Abomination rule, which is the interesting one. A unit that includes any model with this special rule can never be targeted or affected by psychic powers. So your Rhino can't be targeted by psychic powers, that's Witchfire powers and anything like that. Any blessings or malediction psychic powers affecting units are immediately nullified if the unit moves within 12 inches of a model with this special rule, or vice versa. So you've got your Rhino, obviously moves faster than infantry. If you unload your Sisters from it, you can just use your Rhino to nullify psychic powers. But another interesting rule is the right of annulment. So for each unit from this detachment, this is in the Null Maiden Task Force detachment, for each unit in this detachment after the first that is on the battlefield, excuse me, the range of effect for that unit's Psychic Abomination special rule increases by 3 points, and you can have up to 3 units in there, so you can get a maximum Psychic Abomination special rule with an 18-inch area of effect. Now, you can really use that to nullify any Psykers your opponent might have. So it's a really interesting set of special rules there. Now, the Custodes I want to speak to you about their weapons, basically, and the number of attacks they can get in combat. So let's flick to this page. So, the Custodes, you're taking... Oh, that's interesting. The Custodian Guard Squad you can take as troops. So if you took a Custodian Guard Squad and one of the Triumvirate models, one of the lovely Triumvirate models, then you can make a CAD with that. So you can take 2 squads of Custodian Guard and Saint Celestine or Greyfax or Call, of course, and then you can make yourself a CAD with that. So the interesting thing about the Custodian Guard Squad is that they get 3 attacks standard and the Shield Captain gets 4. Now, with the sword that they can take, which is called the Sentinel Blade, that's a melee weapon, it's not unwieldy or anything like that, so they get the extra attack for that. So that would give them 4 attacks standard and 5 for the Shield Captain, which obviously becomes 5 and 6 for the Shield Captain on the charge. And then if you take a Vexilla in the squad, any member of that squad gains an extra attack as well. So they get near enough, in a 5-man squad, they can get 30 attacks in the squad on the charge, or 29 I think it is. It depends whether the Vexilla actually gains the bonus attack from carrying the Vexilla himself. But yeah, it's all really interesting. I'm not going to go into too much detail because obviously, like, I always feel a bit fraudulent almost when I go into details about rules and stuff like that, because I don't play an awful lot. So me talking about rules to other people is kind of like a brain surgeon teaching someone how to bake a cake. I'm not saying I'm a brain surgeon, you're all bakers, or you all want to bake a cake, but I think it's a bit weird me talking about rules to some of the people that watch this video. But they're really interesting rules, and it seems like they'd be really good. Obviously, as well, with all the news coming out of Adepticon, with potential changes to rules and stuff like that, a lot of this is going to be useless, or potentially all of it. So my whole reason for buying this was so I could get the codices that are in there, and I didn't have to pay $4.99 extra. Of course, I do want another Lamb Raider, I do want another Rhino, I do want another squad of Sisters and of Custodian Guard, and I do want another Contempted Dreadnought. I'm not sure that I'll be using all of these for this particular the particular formations you get in this, but it's kind of frustrating, but you know, this is how 40k works. They update the rules and some things become redundant, some things change. They might just add things like the movement value and stuff that's going to be coming into play, or they might give us free war scrolls sort of things to download for every unit in the game. We'll have to wait and see. Whilst I've got you here, I did share a quick test stream with a Facebook group that I'm part of, but nobody else in the wider YouTube community has seen these. So you may remember, if you've been following my channel for a while, that when I got the Betrayal at Calth set, I was doing a series of videos called the Catacombs of Tizca, Burden of Prospero Catacombs of Tizca. So basically, everything in there I was going to paint up as Thousand Suns and a few Space Wolves. So the Sekhmet Terminators from there, I did a bit of work on them at the time, but since since the actual Sekhmet have come out, I've slightly changed them. Since the images of the Sekhmet have come out from, I think it was from the Horus Heresy weekend that they had at Warhammer World, I've slightly changed them to look a bit more like them. So and also some of them to look a bit like the Sekhmet that you see in Warhammer Visions, Age of Dark Warhammer. I can't remember what it's called. It's a book. It's got loads of art prints. Visions of Heresy. That's what it's called. So here's my Sekhmet Terminator conversions. Let's stick my hand behind there. See if we can get that on screen and stuff. So you can see the crest on top of his shoulders there. I've added that in order. God, what am I doing here? Let's change hands. That'll be more effective, probably. It's a little blurry anyway. It's very blurry, actually. But yeah, I've added that crest on top of his shoulders from the Thousand Suns upgrade kit that you can get for 40k to convert your Marines into Rubik Marines. So I've done that to make them look like the Forge World ones. But in Visions of Heresy, all the pictures where the Sekhmet are drawn like accompanying Magnus, they all have plumes, like top knots, instead of these Egyptian style crests. I don't love the Egyptian style crest aesthetic, so I thought I'd throw in some of these as well. Now I've taken the top knots from the Custodian Guards, because the Custodian Guards, I know there's going to be sets of them released in the future where they don't have the top knot helmets, they have the small helmets. And when I say released in the future, I mean released for pre-order yesterday on Forge World's website. So I took some of the, before even knowing that though, I took some of the top knots from the Custodian Guards and I came up with this, just to give us a different top knot look, feel. There we go, that's focused nicely, isn't it, almost? So there we go. I can't turn this and hold it in the right position. So I think it looks quite good. There we go. So I've got 2 people watching from what I can... 3 people watching actually. Amazing. I don't know who the other person is, but we've got Underdog Painting in the chat, Wargamer Nick, and AN Other. All I want to say, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thanks very much for watching. And obviously, the main purpose of this was to, or not the main purpose. The main purpose of this was to share what I've got from Richard's giveaway, and also do a test stream basically because I've got my webcam now and everything. So they were the main two purposes of it. I thought I'd share a few little things with you. Thanks very much for watching, guys. And I am going to get my cursor to the button before I say my final line. How do you stop this stream? Oh my word. Right. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield.